Hi friends, welcome to Through the Wardrobe Knits. I'm Selena, the dyer and owner at Through the Wardrobe Yarn Co, and this is my little online podcast where I share everything that I've been knitting, making, buying in the fibre world. So yeah, let's just get into it. It's been a little while since I last did a podcast. I think it was in October last time, and I'd hoped to do a November one, but life is busy right now, especially for yarn dyers. November is a kind of a crazy month, getting ready for December, Advents, Christmas and all that sort of stuff, and so time to get away from me. But that does mean that I've got not so many makes to show you, a couple of whips, and then a bunch of yarn acquisitions of things I bought and received on my trip to the States. I was on the west coast of the US in October, visiting friends and family, and also some yarn stores. So I'm excited to show you what I got. Excuse me, I have to apologize in advance. I sound kind of out of breath. I am officially in the last month of pregnancy right now, which is also adding to the general exhaustion of the end of the year. I don't have a whole ton of space, you can't really see it, to breathe right now, so I am going to sound a bit like I've been running up hills. Also, the lighting is not great. It's a very sort of grey overcast day here today, and I couldn't resist having my little fairy lights up, so we're just going to go with it, and yeah, we'll just figure it out as we go. So I thought I would jump straight into whips. I'm trying to think if I've got any finished objects to share. Not really. I did make these tiny little baby socks, which I can share, using a mini skein from my 2020 advent that was by Pigment and Ply, Jess. I loved all of the colours in this advent, but don't wear any of the tones, so sadly most of the minis have just been sat in a box for a couple of years, and I've been bringing them out for like socks, toes and stuff, which is, you know, a great use for advent minis, but then I thought they would be kind of perfect for some little tiny baby socks. So I finished those, and I've also started, oh, I've lost a peg. I also started a mini hibernation house sock, one of my own colorways. This is actually the October Yarn Club colorway, Pied Piper, so spoilers if you haven't already seen it, it's not on the grid yet. Anyone who knows me knows that I'm pretty obsessed with suri and sock blends, and I just thought this was super cute for a winter baby. So I still need to cast on the second one. I guess that's like a finished object and a half object. Yeah, they're cute. They're really good for little Netflix knitting. The pattern I used is called Perfect Newborn Socks, but I don't know if it doesn't seem to be available on Ravelry anymore, sadly, but it's a pretty simple like vanilla sock. You could probably figure it out yourself quite easily, or I'm sure someone else has like a similar pattern. Anyway, so yeah, that's pretty much the extent of my finished objects. I do have a Sophie scarf, but I don't have it here, so I'll show that another time. Let's get into whips. I'm mostly working right now on advent knitting. I do have some other whips that I was working on before, including a Whitmore cardigan and a shawl, but I haven't really touched them since the beginning of advent, so I won't be showing them. I will, however, be showing you my advents. So I am working on a project with my own Pink Fade Advent, but I don't have it with me and I haven't got that far into it, so it's not that interesting right now. But this year I decided to buy an advent from Pigment and Ply. The box is over there as well, looked over there. Just at Pigment and Ply. In the past I've made the mistake of picking advents based on dyers that I know or I really like their work in general without paying too much attention to the theme. And so I end up having, like I said with my previous one, a ton of minis, but I don't have a project in mind because it's not something that I'm going to wear. And in general I knit advent knits for myself because they're like a long project and I think it's a little nice satisfying thing at the end. It's like a little Christmas present to myself. So that's happened to me a couple of times where I've bought it and I've loved all the colours. It's not a problem with the actual minis, but I just haven't had a project for them, and then they just sort of sit and then I feel kind of guilty because they're not cheap. And then last year I made the decision to no longer do that and to only pick advents where the theme was what like drew me in. So last year I had the Fibre Fox, which was all pastel colours, and I knew I would love it, and I did. And I knit my Brioche Adventure, which is not to hand because I've been wearing it a lot. It's been cold, but I wear it all the time. I enjoyed knitting it. And then this year when I saw the theme for Jess at Pigment and Plies, I knew, oh, that's something that I think I'm gonna enjoy knitting. So I don't know what the specific theme was, but she has picked 5 artworks and then chosen colour schemes based on those 5, and I think at least 3 of the 5 had kind of like neutrally sort of pastel leaning colours, and I was like, okay, yeah, that's the one for me. So I'm going to show you my project that I've been working on with it. This is the Slay All Day wrap by Alison at Lofty Loops, and it's in testing, so it's not currently available, but as soon as I saw her start this pattern I was like, I want to test it, let me test it, please let me knit this. I was probably very annoying, so she very kindly, as soon as it was tech edited, has let me test it. And I love that each section is a different day. You start the sections off with a garter panel which has suri. You could use mohair, but I would use suri. And then there's some, oh, I can't see it so well, some brioche panels, different types of lace with some brioche. Currently on a panel which has some slip stitches, and I just really love it. It's going to be like a long asymmetrical shawl, and I can already sort of see myself wearing this a lot, so I'm really enjoying knitting it. I have been keeping up with the days, though currently I'm a day behind. So these first 4 colours are from the first picture inspiration that Jess chose, and as you can see they're kind of pinks and purples. It's not really pinks, it's more like a sort of beigey biscuity tone, but that sort of runs through, and then as it gets darker we get some more kind of goldeny tones. I have the merino single space. I think it's come out a little bit darker on the merino single space, which often happens. So if you look at the pictures on her Instagram, some of the colours look a bit lighter than the ones I have. Personally, I'm absolutely over the moon with a colour like this one especially, and I want an entire sweater in this colour. So this I love. And then we're currently moving on to the next artwork image, and you can see now we're moving into more kind of greens, some like nice bronzy tones, and there's still some of these kind of like beigey mauvey pinks and some purples, so it's not like a stark difference. It's really pretty. This is day 5. They've all got wonderful names that I've immediately forgotten, so that's really nice. And then when I finish this, I shall be winding up, well, I'm going to wind up probably 6, 7 and 8 so that I'm able to just move on to the next colour as soon as I can. So even though today is day 6, which is this one, I mean, look at it. Jess has, I think Jess and Ginny, who's at Little Acorn Yarn, both have a style of dyeing that I don't understand. I don't understand how they do it. It's so magical. It really is like she paints with yarn. Like, it's so stunning. All the different tones she gets in, really nice. And the way they knit up tends to be quite subtle. Sometimes, you know, you can get a heavily variegated skein and then it's really kind of chunky and it's not always as nice when it's knit up. But I find that these ones that Jess does are just really, I mean, this one is like really nice and gentle, which is my kind of thing. So I'm really loving this. I'm loving these dark teals. I mean, I haven't had a great look at this colour, so now I'm just like, oh. So this one will be going into a brioche section. Really, really excited to see that. So yes, that's my one of my whips. That's been my kind of evening whip actually, because I find I use like a couple of episodes of Criminal Minds, which I've been rewatching, to finish a panel, and then by the time I'm finished I'm so tired that I'm just like, okay, it's bedtime. So it's kind of nice just to do a little bit of knitting before I pass out for the evening. And then the other sorry, the other Advent whip I'm working on is this, which, I mean, you can immediately tell, very me. This is the Candy Mountain Cowl by Twin Stitches. I'm not 100% sure of her name, but she's Julianne the Knitter on Instagram. And I saw it, and she's got hers with like tonals, kind of rainbowy. But I knew immediately that I don't know if you can see, but it's glitter yarn. It's so hard to show glitter on camera, but this is glitter yarn. My Advent, which was a swap with Jen at Castleview Yarns, would just be perfection for this. So I was very lucky. She sent me a sparkle sock base, and then because I also have the same, we use the same yarn base for that. My Starcross Sparkle is the same yarn base, so I've been using a bare yarn to do the in-betweens. And what I love about this is it uses such a small amount of your mini. I think it's like 4 grams or something, so I've got quite a lot left over. And I know some people they want like projects that use up all of the minis, but for me, I'm kind of excited because I think my kids are absolutely going to want something in some of these colours. So I've been thinking about blending them together in a sweater. So this is 4 days, and then day 5 is this really stunning kind of pink purple. And I actually knit this in one sitting because it's really fast, and I've got it on circulars, so I'm not doing any kind of magic loop. So I did this in one sitting. So I think my plan is actually to get 6, 7, 8 and 9 also wound up today or tomorrow, and then when I get ahead with my other Advent whip, I'll sit down and work out a few of these and probably get up to day 8 or maybe day 9 in my next sitting. So it's going to be a long cowl that then twists. So I have a provisional cast on, I'll kind of twist, and based off the images I've seen from Jen's, it goes from pinks to purples to blues, I think, and then I think to greens, and I can't remember if there's another one, but I think it's going to look really cool as a cowl. also, sorry, excuse me, because it's on fingering weight, it's quite an open knit. The pattern called for, what was it, 3.75 or a 4mm, which I thought was going to be a bit too much. It did say like for gauge, but I'm not gauge swatching for a cowl. It's not, it can't be too small or too big. I suppose it could be too small, but it's not. So I just decided that I would actually go down needle size, because I'm using fingering weight. So I'm using a 3.5, and I probably could have also used a 3.25 for a bit of a tighter fabric. But I actually think once this is all blocked out, because you block it before you twist it and attach the other end, I think it will make quite a nice light fabric, which when it's twisted around a couple of times will mean that it's not too constricting. So I don't generally like wearing sort of things tight around my neck, and I'm not a big cowl wearer, but I just thought, like, with this it feels like something that I'll be able to throw on with a light jacket, especially in kind of spring and autumn when it's still pretty cold here, but maybe not cold enough for like a full heavy scarf. So yeah, really happy with those colours so far. They've all got wonderful names. I'm just terrible with them. Also, if you look closely at this colour, that I somehow messed the colour work up, but it's so light I'm not going back to fix it. So we'll just hold it like this. So yeah, that is really it for the old whips. I'm trying to think if I have any others to hand, but I don't think I do. No. Excuse me. So let's just move on to the fun bit, which is yarn acquisitions. Basically, as soon as I knew I was going to the US, I began ordering stuff on pre-orders that I wouldn't usually order because the customs can be so high coming to Norway, and along with shipping and all of that. And of course, as a dyer, I know that shipping costs are really expensive, so I never expect it to be cheaper than, like, or I never expect it to be cheaper, but sometimes if a shipping cost is almost the same as what you spent on yarn, and then you know you're going to get a massive customs charge, it's easier to be like, okay, I won't get any. But I was going to be in the States. My aunt is a extremely lovely person who did not mind package upon package upon package arriving, and so when I got to Seattle about halfway through our trip, I had lots of yarn to unbox, which was really exciting. I had the Welcome to the Hellmouth Halloween countdown from Little Acorn Yarn, and I have it, but I'm not sure where it is because it's in process of being knit. It's one of my unfinished whips. I actually thought it was here, now I see that it's not. So I got that. I think I posted pictures on my story, so I'm sure you've seen it. I also received this gorgeous Surion from Lauren at the Yarn Addict Co. This was her bunnies, I think it was just rabbits collection, and this is called Show Bunny. I for the longest time thought it was called Snow Bunny because the image of the bunny, which was the cutest thing ever, like a little fluffy face, it was in snow, so I think I just thought it's called Snow Bunny, but it's called Show Bunny. The lighting is unfortunately throwing off the colours quite a lot. It's much sort of pinker in real life. I got 4 skeins of this, and I've been thinking I want to make an April cardigan. I'm not totally sure yet because obviously there are some issues around petite knit, so I'm still looking, but the specific shape and construction of the April cardigan is what I want, and I'm planning on holding this together with a light sort of fawn colour, like brown. So I think it'll make a really nice kind of everyday throw on when you're leaving the house kind of cardigan. So that was one thing I got. I'm gonna go through these like relatively fast because my breath is disappearing. Oh, let's see. Oh, this one I did not get when I was in the States. I got it when I got back, but I have to show you. Put it in a big basket. This was something that I ordered a while ago, and I just didn't. Well, it was a pre-order, and it took a while to come. It's fine. I don't mind waiting pre-orders, to be honest, because I am always knitting all the things, and I never really have time to like cast on new things, even though I do it all the time. So for me, waiting for pre-order is fine, because then I'm like, oh, surprise, you got a fun yarn. So this came not that long ago. This is my pre-order from Little Acorn Yarn Witch collection. I'm sure I'm going to show this. I'm going to sort of, so I bought it with the intention of a fade of some kind. It's not a true fade, but it's pretty close. Show you like this. Here's 3 of them. Really beautiful, beautiful. Really beautiful, beautiful. So I got Epsiode, Neneke, and Care, Moran, Fringilla, and what? Siri, which I really like. Yeah, so I haven't got a true plan for them yet, but I'm just squishing them. They're really fluffy. It's her floofy fingering, which I'm pretty sure is merino. It's really, really like really soft. All the colours I should have put some more lighting on. The colours aren't really great, but it's really super soft and fluffy. Yeah, when I decide, I think I'm going to do some kind of garment with it, because I won't use a scarf. Sorry, I'm not trying to yawn. I'm exhausting myself. These 3 would be so nice together. So yeah, I'm not sure how I'm going to use them exactly. These 2 are, but they're going to be something beautiful one day. Who knows when that will be, but it's nice to have them and add them to the old stash. I don't think I've had anything new to stash since last time, really. Oh, and I also got from her, because Ginny and I are friends, we chat quite often, this adorable little baby hat that she knit. She knit it in one of her witch's colours, which, again, names just, they escape me at the moment. It's knit with double DK and suri, so it's really nice and chunky, and it has this cute little funny little knot tie at the top, and I'm very much looking forward to adding this to baby's wardrobe. I've had a winter baby before, but she was born at the end of January, and so spring was pretty fast approaching. Didn't have to have so much wool for her, but for this baby being born basically like in the middle of winter, it's I don't know if I'm prepared. I mean, I'll figure it out, but I don't feel that prepared. Anyway, let me show you what else we've got to get through. There's a lot. So first of all, I have to show off my bag from Black Pearl Magic, Shayla. She's really nice. We got chatting after she found me through my all pink advent, because like me, she's a pink girly, and when she found out I was coming to the States, she was like, send me the address you're going to be at, I'm going to send you some little bits. And I was so excited, because I've tried to get one of her bags multiple times, but because we're on different time zones and everyone wants one of these bags because they're amazing. I mean, you can't really see it unfortunately on the camera, but like, it's glittery and it has like rainbow stitching and like holographic fixings. That's not the word. I've tried them before, but I always miss out, and so I was so excited. And I was extra excited because I figured she was probably sending a bag of some kind. I didn't know it was going to be this one, which is just, I mean, can literally hold, I think there's about 13 skeins of yarn in there. When I put all this back in my stash, my advent projects are going in here, because I think it's just, I love it. I'm pretty obsessed with this bag. But then she also, and I like legitimately almost cried because I'm very hormonal, sent me one of her needle cases. If you follow me on Instagram, you'll probably have seen I've been looking for like something for interchangeable needles. This is perfect. I haven't put anything in here really because I've been busy, but I feel like this would be such a good one for travel. So you can just put like a nice little selection of needles. There's space here, so I have got one of the needles I was using when I was on holiday. She included, so it wasn't just the needles, she included this kind of holder thing which has stitch markers. I've only got one on right now because the other ones are in use. And it also has these little pouches. They're sort of so smart, like if you need to put your, you know, notions and stuff, these little pouches. And it's in a little clip situation. And she sent me a, maybe I'll take that out so you can see it. Ooh. She sent me a pin, which obviously is going to be the wrong way for you, but it says on Wednesdays we craft pink, which obviously I love, especially because my advent this year is in December. We wear pink. And then, oh, I'll tell you what, I'm going to put that here because I'm going to go ahead and attach that to my pin bag now that I've shown it. And it's got a sticker which says make your own magic. The vinyl sticker, really nice quality. Also, I'm going to sound like such a weirdo, but the smell of this is like, I guess it's sort of a vinyl or something, but I very much like the smell, which I realise makes me sound really weird, but I feel like if you also like those smells, you'll know. Kind of reminds me of swimming, and I'm not, probably from swimming bags. I digress. I also bought this pin when I went to Spin Cycle Yarns in Bellingham, and it says don't leave me this way, with half a finished sleeve. And seeing as I pretty much never knit sleeves and all sweaters seem to just end up on the whip pile forever, I thought it was quite funny, and I might start attaching it to my sweaters to remind me, like, hey, just knit those sleeves, they don't take that long. So I'm going to also put that on my bag. Oh gosh, my breath. So yeah, I was so overwhelmed by how generous she was. And there's a lovely note and all that sort of stuff. I just love it. Such a nice size too. It's like B5, I guess. I'm guessing B5, B6, B6 maybe. So a little longer than an A5. Let's just reel it out. Look at this. It's got like a little flower zip. It's really, really sturdy and well made. I think with when it's not fabric, it can be hard to tell how well it's going to hold up, but you can tell that she's like put a lot of time into her craft of making these. So yeah, absolutely love that. Was really excited, cried. Oh wait there. Anyway, let me show you what else I got. So also in the pre-orders, they didn't buy this, actually that's a lie. This is my sock set from Fiber Fox. We do a swap with our month clubs, and this is how far I'll go. The colour is making it look very green, but it's more of like a tealy blue. It's beautiful, and I still need to knit up like a bunch of these socks. I think last time I showed you this one, which was Once Upon a Dream. I need to have like a sock year, or I just knit socks. Let me have a look. Well, I guess I'll go straight into the stuff that's on the top. When I got to Seattle, I think it was like that day or the day after, I suddenly saw everywhere this spin cycle yarn that was especially for La Mercerie. I don't really know how to say that, which is a yarn store based in Washington, Seattle area, and I'd been planning to visit anyway, just because I love a yarn store. And then I saw it go online and a couple of people I knew bought it, and then it immediately sold out. So I was kind of bummed. I was like, oh, I was really like planning on getting some spin cycle because it's like, you know, made in Washington. I thought it'd be a nice kind of vacation memory yarn. And then I noticed on Jess's post, she is the owner of La Mercerie, that they were going to have some in store. And I was like, oh, so I told my husband we have to go tomorrow. And we did. So we went out to Bainbridge Island in Washington, which was really nice and fun to go and take the kids. And I went and picked up I actually picked up 3 skeins, but one of them was a gift. 2 skeins of Pale September, which is the exclusive to La Mercerie colourway. It is showing up a little yellower on this with this lighting, but I did choose, obviously with spin cycle you get a whole variation of colours. I did choose the more peachy tones. Yeah, maybe that's these kind of like peachy tones. And I bought 2 because I figured it would be really nice as a yoke. I am not a huge colourwork fan. I don't really like doing full colourwork sweaters, but I do enjoy the ones that have like a colourwork yoke. And I thought actually this would probably be really nice. So I got these, and I got one for a friend. And then I was meeting up with another dyer friend of mine, Coley, who is a dyer at Paisley Yarns. She's based in Canada, but she's quite close to like the border, which is in Washington. And so we decided like we'd meet, which was really, really fun. Had such a nice time. And it's just, when you work in this business, often you can feel really lonely. Like a lot of us dyers have made a point of having like group chats or discords where we kind of are able to share things about being in this business, but you don't really have someone that you can sit down with on a regular basis and just like chat about. I mean, I have some people like that, but not in the same way you would if you work in an office and you have colleagues who you see every day. So it can be really nice just to sit down with someone who kind of just gets it, like the difficulties, but also the joys and how amazing it is that you get to work in a business that is really exciting and creative. So I had such a nice time with her. Not long enough, because I do have 2 small children who take up a lot of time. My husband very nicely took them off to a museum for a couple of hours, but we decided to meet in Bellingham, which is north of Seattle, so it's closer to the border, and that is where Spin Cycle have their own brick and mortar store. So I thought, well, when in Rome or in Washington, you might as well go buy some yarn. I also assumed that it would be cheaper buying it there than it would be buying at home, until I looked at my local yarn store website and they sell it cheaper, quite significantly so. But of course they didn't have the variation, and it was really fun to go and see. In the store they have a ton of samples of like all the different like sweaters they've made, and the ones on Instagram, and it's really nice to see them up close. So I went in with the intention of buying this, which is Love Spell. I had intended to actually buy the pinker, it was like the pinker version, but they didn't have any. So I went for the one that's a bit more purple pink. Some of them lean heavier towards the greens and some of them lean heavier towards the yellows, but I really wanted to pass that. I actually didn't realise until I got home that this skein is very green. Like if I look in the middle, there's a lot of green in it, whereas this one has much more pastel tones. So I think when I knit them, I'm gonna have to cake them both up like together to see how they're gonna work and perhaps sort of fade it down. Again, the intention for this is to use it in a yoke, probably a Knit Love wool one, I think. Just because I think they're really nice and I think they look really good with variegated yarn. I did consider the Laurel sweater, which is by Along Avec Anna, but I don't think I have enough. And because they are quite pricey, I couldn't really justify it. Well, here's the thing. I say I couldn't justify buying more, but I did end up buying 2 more skeins in a different colour. So, but I figure they're going to be a different sweater. So, you know, so far I have 2 different colours for 2 different sweaters, right? That was Love Spell. I mean, you can see the difference quite a lot actually in the camera with the green. I don't know how I missed it so drastically in the store. I think I was very overwhelmed by how many different colours there were. But regardless, I love it and I know I'm going to be able to put it into something nice. And then I saw this sample, which was, it's called The Junction. It's by Andrew Mowry, I think. I haven't bought the pattern yet. But the sample was in a dark grey lamb's wool with this kind of dark pinky red sort of undercolour. And I think The Junction is brioche or slip stitches, mosaic knitting. But I kept looking back at it and I was like, oh, it's very nice. And Coley and I were like going back and excuse me, going back and forth about it. And then she was like, just get the yarn. And so I did. So I got, again, 2 skeins. I did actually work out that that would be enough for the pattern of Wallflower. And I think the version we saw actually had a bit more of the lighter pink, but I really like this kind of deep pink. And it also has these kind of, how well you can be able to see it, it's kind of like twisted with the dark grey. And it's kind of like a, it looks like 2-colour brioche, but again it might be mosaic knitting, and then it's just a simple like dark sweater. So I think I'm pretty sure that's going to be like my next cast on in the new year. However, I'm not sure what colour I'm going to do it with. I was thinking that I would potentially do it with this colour. This is Lake Inara, but this is on the non-superwash base, so it's a bit washed out. The colour on, I don't think I have any. The colour on superwash is a bit darker, and I thought they would be really nice together. Or I will dye a dark sort of greyish colour, but I just kind of thought, now I'm looking together, they look too Christmassy. I don't know. I'll probably dye up some of it on superwash to have a think, but that's gonna, I'm not sure about that. What do you think? Tell me. It's too Christmassy. Should I go for a dark grey, or maybe a dark blue would be really nice, like a grey leaning one? I don't know. I'll have to have a little think. I have like a dark blue here, which is, oh, see, yeah, this would be maybe nice. So this is a skein of Lillarilla design. It's her advent from last year maybe. It's a really nice dark blue. Yeah, maybe I'll go for a dark. I think, let me know what you think in the comments, whether you think a dark blue or a dark green would be best to pair with this. Oh wait, here's the colour. Colour name is Ball E Blå Timen, but it's on a different, it's on a camel silk base, so it's much darker than the regular one, I think. Yeah, so I bought those. I feel like I'm a bit all over the place, so apologies if it's kind of jumping back and forth. And then, so Brandy at Long Log Yarn is continuously personally attacking me with beautiful purples, because even though I'm a pink girl, I am a sucker for a blue or a purple, because they fit me quite well, and I love them. So she brought out her little pre-order, and I'm pretty sure I've bought from all of her pre-orders lately because I just love them so much. And it was based on The Last Unicorn. I'm pretty sure she'd done this collection previously, and I'd missed it. I hadn't seen it. I don't think I knew about her company then. But then I saw this and I was just like, I mean, look at it. It's got everything I love. It's got pinks, it's got purples, it's got blues, there's a little speckle, and I mean, look at it. So she was very sweet, and she made sure to get it to me like in good time for me being in the US, because I was a bit worried if I was going to order stuff on pre-orders, if it like wouldn't arrive on time, or if it would arrive too early and my poor aunt would be like drowning in yarn boxes. But she got it to me just on time, and I just love it. And I already have plans to hold it together with something like this, probably, maybe a bit more purple, kind of a soft purpley grey mohair. Maybe it's probably a mohair, I think, because I really want these colours to shine. And I'm going to be knitting a plain raglan, basically. I have one of my favourite sweaters is the Salem sweater, which has a pattern down here, but the rest of it's just a regular raglan. So I'll probably be kind of loosely following that pattern, just without the like the cables and the bobbles down the side. That's really nice. I love this so much. I'm pretty like desperate to cast this on too, but I want to wait for exactly the right pattern and the right time, and like allow my body to go back to normal after having a baby and all that sort of stuff. So I won't cast it on just yet, but I do love it. And then I think last but not least, I felt like I had more. Oh no, I did. So also from Brandy, I ordered her She sells seashells sock set, which was her summer collaboration with Knit Two Together. It came with a bag. I've gifted the bag to a friend of mine, but this is a really cool sock set. I was very privileged to see it before she officially released it, and I was like, me please, I will have one, thank you very much. So as soon as it came out, I jumped on that and ordered it. So this has actually been sat at my aunt's house since I think like May, June maybe. I really like it. Again, I need a year of socks so I can knit up all these cute yarns. What else? Yes, this is the full skein from the Buffy collection. It is twiggy. I feel like I might have dropped that in outside or something. This is in Merino Singles. The colours are just so pretty. I have to kind of open it up to show you because really nice. I've got no idea what I'm going to knit with it, because I don't need it for the countdown shawl that I'm knitting. So we'll just squish it over, I think. And then last but not least, near at the end. Oh, I've been talking for almost an hour. What? You know, the sad thing is I cannot lean down and get that because there's too much baby in the way. So once I finish this, I'll have to get into a weird stance, lower myself down, pick that bag up. But for now, it's just living on the floor. I also couldn't resist some minis from Brandy when because I guess she had The Last Unicorn and the Labyrinth. They were both like colours she'd brought back from them previously, and I really actually wanted a a sweater quantity in either this colour or this colour, but because I was already getting my lovely purple, I was like, I think that's too much to get 2 sweater quantities in like purple pinks, so I decided I would get a mini set. And actually I really like this. I've been thinking this would be very cute for a striped sweater, similar to my Stria cardigan, but perhaps not with the fisherman's rib, perhaps just a regular stripe. I just thought this would be really nice. I really like this one. I don't know the names. I'm sure if you go onto Brandy's Instagram, she'll have pictures which has all the names. I just love this. And this is on Bounce Sock, whereas this one was on Merino Fingering. So this is a high twist. I don't generally love high twist, I have to say. I don't like, if I can avoid buying high twist, I do. But I actually really like the way high twist looks with this colour. So that is it for yarn acquisitions. I am being kicked from the inside, which is not super enjoyable. I'm just gonna sit back slightly. It was not a great angle, but it's fine. It's fine. Trying to think if I have any news to share. I do. I have some shop news. So for anyone not interested, I'm glad you're here. Thanks for being here. Thanks for sitting through probably 40+ minutes of me kind of vaguely rambling. If you're still here, I appreciate it. If you're following me on Instagram, you know that shipping is a little bit slow right now, mostly because of the size of myself and getting stuff ready and finished, as well as being struck down by colds and flus and all sorts in this house. Thankfully not me, but other members of my family have been, so crossing my fingers I avoid it. But it has just meant that things are a bit slower in the house. All club yarn should be hopefully sent within next week. I'm actually hoping to get most of it sent by the end of this week, but I don't want to promise that because I cannot guarantee that that's the case. Same with Christmas cast on yarn, which I wish I could show it to you because I love it so much. There are still some in the shop. It's me as a winter pastel. So if you like my Happiest Place on Earth colourway, Dream of Candy Unicorns, those colours, not those colours, but that style, that sort of soft neutrally pastel, then don't miss out on the Christmas cast on yarn. I shall be sending that throughout the month. I don't think, I was thinking I was going to take it down initially, but I think I'll just leave it up. However, I am officially taking some maternity leave from dyeing. I'm very lucky to live in a country that supports small businesses pretty well and parents pretty well, so I'm able to, financially able to take some time off to have a baby and, you know, adjust to having 3 small children instead of 2. So that will officially be starting on the 13th of December, which is a week today? No, yeah, sugar, a week today. But I will probably also still be shipping out stuff during that week. I mean, I absolutely will. So I won't be dyeing stuff, and the shop will probably be closed. I'm trying to figure out the logistics of that. But don't panic if you see that it says that I'm on maternity leave and your stuff hasn't been shipped. It's all shipping, don't worry. I am going to have, because as you can see, wait, this is all in stock yarn. I've got some in stock yarn up here. All of this is in stock. So I am gonna put everything back on the site. It hasn't been on the site for like a couple of weeks because I just did not have the time to also ship out stuff. I just the unfortunate reality, I think, of Advents and pregnancy and everything together, and I didn't want people waiting a super long time if they ordered something that's in stock, because that sucks. So the plan is to get that all back up on the website this week, hopefully Friday, as well as some stuff that I haven't shown, but it's in there. It's just like fun little pink colour. You probably can't see that well. There's some stuff that I haven't had on the website that will be going up. I have got some club extras. I've got some sock and suri sets that I dyed and just hadn't had a chance to put up. I have got 2 new books that are going to be on sale from Pom Pom, which make perfect Christmas gifts. Obviously, if you live abroad, perhaps it won't get to you in time. You can always order it for yourself, especially if you're in Norway and you're wanting a gift for the knitter in your life or another knitter in your life. I have these 2 adorable ones. This one is Mini Pom, which is pretty much what it says on the tin. It is a really cute, fun, colourful designs for kids. Look, how adorable is that? Really nice. And it's simple stuff too. It's not like all really complicated. There is this adorable piggy pattern, just love. So that will be on the website. I don't have a ton of these. I originally bought them for some markets, but unfortunately was unable to attend the markets. I'm not going to try and shove that back in. I can't see. And then also Ready Set Socks, which is patterns by Rachel Coopy. Rachel Coopy used to have, or maybe still does, have a yarn brand called Coop Knits, which I love. They're really good for socks. But this has a ton of different, I think it's 12 or 13, no, it's 10 sock designs. But it's not just socks. So we've got all these sock designs here. Oh, trying to see if I can. Not sure if you can see that. 10 sock designs. And they range from like a basic vanilla sock to socks with textures, sock cables, different colour socks, etc. What I really like is that there's quite a lot of information about sock knitting. So it talks about toe up sock knitting, cuff down sock knitting, different types of, let's see if I can show you, different types of heels, different types of wraps, short row wraps and all that stuff, how to pick up the edges. So if you are someone who feels a bit intimidated about potentially knitting socks, and if like me you're a pictorial person rather than a YouTube video tutorial, I bloody hate YouTube video tutorials, they don't work for me. This has really great instructions. If you are not a native English speaker and you're a bit concerned, I would say that the instructions are simple enough that you could either use like a translate app, or you'll probably be able to read it if you are Norwegian, because the standard of English is pretty high, to be honest, even when you think it isn't. So lots of socks techniques, lots of really helpful pictures. There's cast-ons. You know, I can show you different types of cast-ons and what it looks like in a cuff. Really great. So what I think this is good for is that, yes, you get a ton of like cool patterns, like this like kind of cabled business. It also gives you the basics to be able to knit socks from your head, which I personally really like doing. I often knit kind of a vanilla sock, and then if someone says, oh, do you have a pattern, I have to, well, not really, it's just I know the basics of sock knitting, so I'm able to just sort of have fun with it and go with it. So this will also be available on the website. I have 3 of each copy, and more could be ordered. These are the ones I have in stock, and they are fabulous. So if you want to join me next year on knitting, on a sock year, a year of sock knitting, this could be the book for you. So that really is it I've really enjoyed chatting away, even if I am absolutely knackered. So now I'm going to go and lie on the couch for a little bit, probably. Have a little rest before the kids get back. And then it's back into working. Oh, so my shirt keeps running up. Anyway, that is it from me. Thank you so much for being here. If you enjoyed my sort of deliriously tired ramblings, please do subscribe, like, do all that good YouTubey stuff. And yes, the next time I do a podcast, I will probably not be pregnant anymore, fingers crossed. Or I will be extremely pregnant and irritable, and it will probably be not the best of, it'll either be the best one to watch in terms of being hilarious, or the worst one in terms of being cringy. So I'm gonna go ahead and hope that I'm not pregnant the next time I record a podcast. Hopefully I will have some finished Advent whips, and I can also show you some of my other whips that I've been kind of holding back, which I'm looking forward to starting up again. So yeah, with that I say bye. Have a lovely festive season. Happy Christmas if you celebrate it. Happy Hanukkah if that's what you celebrate. It's December, let's get festive if that's what you celebrate, like me. I hope you all have a really warm and lovely time. Yeah. Bye.